You are not a fan of Beyonce. Why?
I don't like the fact that she has to make everything such a big political statement.
Remember San Francisco 49ers DN Nick Bosa's antics? And how he crashed an interview sesh on Sunday Night Football to put on and point to a MAGA hat?
Some discussion, you had a hat on that was not the hat you're currently wearing in the postgame. Why did you take that opportunity to make what would appear to be a political statement?
I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's an important time.
Then completely, and I mean completely chickened out and practically gave a no comment when asked about it.
What you mean you're not going to talk too much about it, partner? Like, you made that call. You did this. You brought us here. This ain't about something that you liked on the internet or anything else. You decided that you wanted to put that out there, and it's an important time. Now, to me, the question to ask right there is, why is this an important time? If you say this is an important time, hey, man, here's your chance, right? So what do you think makes this an important time? That would be my question.
Well, my goat, my North Star, Bomani Jones on his show, The Right Time with Bomani Jones, well, he entered the chat.
What's different, big dog? And by the way, not wearing the hat at the podium, which implies to me, I'm assuming somebody that works for the 49ers is like, hey, homie, hey, you got another one? You got another hat? Like, look, if you don't want to comb your hair, that's fine. But if you got another hat, it would be really nifty if you decided to put that on.
A fair point many of you brought up. Quick timeout from Bomani. All right, so look, as I've discussed, as many others have discussed, the double standard here is jarring. It's blatant. All right. Colin Kaepernick, a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Nick Bosa plays for the San Francisco 49ers. He was shunned when he went on to express his beliefs and stood 10 toes down on why he took a knee in the first place. He laid it all out there. And he was roundly criticized. And it wasn't just from Tucker Carlson, all right, who says white supremacy is a hoax. It wasn't just from Brian Kilmeade, who defended Trump in the wake of John Kelly, the news story about John Kelly's former chief of staff, joint chiefs of staff. It wasn't just Laura Ingraham. It was the president of the United States who decided to weigh in and use Colin Kaepernick in order to tap into the nationalism that so many conservatives just get boned up over. All right. And yet, here we are in October of 2024, and Nick Bosa is just given a pass. Colin Kaepernick had the weight of the league, the billionaire owners, the top 1%, and the president of the United States, along with his rabid MAGA base going against him, and it ended up with him being blacklisted. Remember that. More from Bomani.
The other reason why Colin went down, and this is very important, okay? Think about this. Colin Kaepernick became kind of a sort of pariah, you know, a hero in some circles, obviously, but a pariah in others in more mainstream circles because of not standing for the national anthem, right? That's kind of how it seems or it comes across to people. He didn't stand for the national anthem, and that's what happened. But you know who else didn't stand for the national anthem? Marshawn Lynch. And when Marshawn Lynch didn't stand for the national anthem, he didn't come to some compromise like Kaepernick did and take the knee to give to show deference and all of that stuff. No, sir. He did what Colin did in the first place and just sat there by the water cooler. But when people asked him about what he was doing, he didn't answer any questions about it. True courage of Colin Kaepernick is not that he did not stand for the national anthem, is that he clearly articulated his position on this country, on the police, on black people and brown people, and how all of those things came together. The punishment was for the articulation of what he had to say. The courage is in the willingness to do just that, and the refusal to be like, I ain't got to say nothing about that. Mind your own business. He did not do that. That is the biggest reason why those things played out the way that they did.
This is fantastic, and I mean fantastic, because it is true. Colin could have chickened out He could have gave it no comment. He could have said, I'm not going to get into it. But he didn't. He didn't. He told us why he was doing it. And you know what? History will show, as it already has, that he was proven right. Here's more from the right time.
Bosa says it's an important time, but he doesn't really want to talk about it. He then tells us that he feels more comfortable expressing this because it is a different climate. But if it is a different climate, then why can't you say something, right? Like, how much of this has actually changed? But he decided to jump himself into a space of ideological, intellectual discussion, or at the very least intelligent discussion. And I think on the media end, it becomes important to ask people questions when they ask for attention. He wanted the attention for what he did. Give it to him. I'm not telling that man to shut up and rush the passer. No, I'm telling him to do the opposite. I'm saying, speak up, Playboy. I can't really understand what it is that you're talking about, but I'd like to know a little bit more about your position. Could you tell me, please? If you saw them clips of what was going on at Madison Square Garden, that was wild, man. Like, you can talk about that comedian and all his jokes or whatever. I'm going to just tell you that they literally played Dixie before a black man came to the microphone, and he actually kept just roll with it. But anyway, that's the brand you putting on for. And if that's the brand you put on for, hey, man, that's your call. And you really good at football, and I bet you can fight, and all of that's cool. I'm going to just ask you, would you be willing to articulate those positions in front of the people that you work with? And if you are, hey, that's what it is.
So I actually got in touch with Bomani, and I told him that I thought this was incredibly well done, because it was. And let me just say this. When I look at the way Bomani will show various different angles of a story and bring it all together, that is what makes him great, and why I absolutely despised HBO canceling Game Theory, because it was smart, it was research driven, it was witty. Bomani is a great host, super relatable and charismatic, and he gives off a very great, strong vibe of dry humor, which I love as well. Adam McKay was an EP on it. I digress. What I see in all of this is just the sheer hypocrisy. And some will say, oh, well, you know, Colin wasn't good. Colin did this. Colin did that. His record, blah, blah, blah. I do find it interesting how we either go all in on the record for quarterbacks, or we believe it's 11 on 11. Quarterback is the most important position, as we know, in all professional sports. But which one is it? Because I've seen mixed reviews all across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, what have you. To say that Colin was bad, how many quarterbacks lead a team to a Super Bowl? How many quarterbacks have a touchdown ratio of 16-4 when they exit the league? How many quarterbacks can deal with the injuries that his line did and he still succeeded? How many quarterbacks can hold multiple records for rushing the football in the playoffs? Very few. And I know he was surpassed, but that was only recently, which goes to show you how great of a quarterback he was. And I double down on this. As time goes on, and we will eventually reflect on this, he will have been proven right. And the fact that the San Francisco 49ers and others in their orbit, including conservative football fans, have applauded this says everything. 49ers have been silent. I agree with Bomani that they probably had him change his hat. But it is very interesting. And to borrow, a few moments from Laura Ingraham, why is it okay to tell LeBron James and Kevin Durant to shut up and dribble, and Colin Kaepernick to just play football, and then when Drew Brees says, I can't agree with anybody who disrespects the flag, which it was not disrespectful. Laura Ingraham says, well, he's a football player and we should really hear him out. I leave you with that. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.